Good evening, everybody. I wanted to give you a little taste of one of the prizes in my collection. I have a 1916 Edison Phonograph here, which my dog's getting in the way of. But anyway, I have a 1916 Edison Phonograph, which is one of Edison's inventions, and I'd like to share that with you a little bit. The hinges need fixed on the top here, so I'm just going to take the top off and show you how this thing works. The Edison records for this is not the oldest Edisons that used to have the round drum. This is one of the ones that became more the traditional record player. And the records that play here run at 80 RPMs. Most regular records ran at 33 later on, but these run at 80, and they're very thick. They're probably more than a quarter-inch thick. And I happen to have quite a few of them here. I'm very, very fortunate to have bought this at an auction many years ago. I also have the original owner's manual that goes with this Edison from the Thomas A. Edison Company in Orange, New Jersey. And here is the packing list that it came with, telling me the model number, and also the actual operation and care of the Edison Phonograph. And that's pretty kind of special to me that I have this thing here that tells me how it works and how to take care of it. It's a pretty neat little piece of machinery. I'll show you, it's quite simple actually. The phonograph has a needle, very heavy needle here, that vibrates up and down on the record, and this goes through this needle there, rests on the record. This is heavy, and that record vibrates, and as it vibrates it reverberates the sound through this horn. This horn goes down underneath and can turn as it rides on the record. Now I have a sock in there because originally there was a little muffler type, like an ear muff, that was on there that you would pull in and out to control the volume up here. I don't have that, so to make it so it's not so loud, I put a sock in it because it's quite loud. But what I'll do is put this needle back on, and in order to get it to work, I have to crank it. Let's pause the video for a moment. Tell me when.
Go.
Okay, so now that we move this so I can get to the crank, there's a crank here on the side that I gotta roll the spring. I gotta get this to stop, otherwise it'll never crank. So I'll give it some cranks in the spring to roll that up. And the first thing I'll play for you kind of a little humorous song. It's called Barney Google. Tenor and baritone by Billy Jones and Ernest Hare, somebody you've probably not listened to on Spotify or anything else. But I'll put that record on, and what I do is I start this thing turning, let it get up to speed, and then I move this over and set the needle down on it. And we'll just play a few little choruses of this.
Get up, Barbara, get up, come on. Who's the most important man this country ever knew? I don't know what politician you have reference to. Well, it isn't Mr. Bryan, then it must be Mr. Hughes. I've got a hunch, and to this bunch I'm going to introduce. Who's that? Barney Google with a googly eyes. Barney Google had a wifely time beside. She sued Barney 44, now he's living with his horse. Barney Google with a googly eyes. Barney Google with a googly eyes. Barney
You get the idea there.
When the horses ran that day, Bob ran the other way. Barney Google with a googly eyes.
Okay, to stop it, I'll just lift the needle with this handle. That gives you a little feel for what that song was, and then I'll stop it. And it kind of has a unique feature. We didn't play the whole thing, but as this needle moves across here, you can see, if it's spinning, as it goes across the record, when it gets to the end of the record, this little lever turns it off. All mechanical, no electronics, obviously. Okay, then I'll play, to finish, I have about 25 to 30 of these records, and the one I'm going to play is something maybe you've heard, especially around Christmas time. I have the Hallelujah Chorus from Handel's Messiah, mixed voices and orchestra, and we'll play that. Give it a few more cranks. I could crank it all up, but I don't like to leave the spring too tight, so I just crank it up enough to play whatever song I'm doing. So we'll play the Hallelujah Chorus, and it's tradition that we stand during that. And we'll let it spin and get up to speed. But people used to just sit around and do this instead of watching YouTube every day. Sure, I'm not pulling out there. See how loud it is in a little bit. I'll pull out the sock so you can hear how loud it can be. I turned the volume down. Alright, so I hope you find this interesting. Like I said, it's one of my favorite inventions. I hope you found that interesting. Thank you.